There we go. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Monday Mindset, and I'm really excited to be here this Monday, and I'm also excited because I really have an opportunity to make a difference in the savvy investor community. I want to thank Michael for this really amazing opportunity to really contribute and just really be a contributing member to the savvy investor community. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity. If you can bring up my slides there, Michael, if you're there. Okay, perfect. Great. So the Monday Mindset happens every other Monday, and let's see here. And so the intention of the Monday Mindset is really, my goal really is to make a difference with everyone. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having frank, open, and authentic conversations about how you can elevate your performance in all areas of your life. Now, this can include your health and, of course, your wealth. So I'm very, very big on health. Okay, so it also includes your personal health, your financial health, your mental, emotional, and spiritual health as well. Now, doing the Monday Mindset, what we'll do is we'll have interviews with experts, and these experts are really, I've met so many amazing, extraordinary people over the last 25 years and being in the real estate and the health space. For example, dietitian, my wife is actually a registered dietitian. She's been a dietitian now for going on 30 years, and she works for a company that really interviews and have conversations with celebrities as well as executives and CEOs. So she has a lot to share where health is concerned. And also personal trainers, naturopaths, nutritionists, real estate investors. There's so many extraordinary real estate investors, and also many other financial professionals who are some of the best in their field. So I'm really excited to be introducing to them as well. And also the overall intention of the Monday Mindset is to really empower you to take action. So this is not about just me talking to you or having conversations with you, for 45 minutes, for an hour. So, that's just more noise, more information out there. That's not the intention of this entire Monday Mindset. The whole goal is for you to take what's being presented and use it, implement it, put it into your life and apply it. Because my whole desire is really to make a difference, to make an impact, so you can grow your health, protect your wealth, and so you can have a life that works. And again, it happens every Monday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump in. Let's get started. All right, so think for a moment. Did you set or establish goals for 2023? Okay, just answer yes or no. Okay, did you establish or set goals for 2023? Okay. Now think back and make a list. Just make a list of at least 5 of your goals that you set in 2023. Just make a list of those goals. Just take a moment to make a list. Now, out of all the goals that you set in 2023, did you achieve all your goals? Did you accomplish them? Simple yes or no. Did you accomplish 1, 2, 3, 4? How many did you accomplish? Or did you accomplish 0? None of them. And if you did not accomplish any of your goals in 2023, what got in your way? What stopped you? What prevented you from achieving and accomplishing your goals? Think about that for a moment. Was it being distracted? Was it that you just gave up, you quit? What was it? What was it that actually stopped you from accomplishing your goals? And that's very, very important, because that's going to give you some really important insight going into 2024. And if you know, or if you have some insight into what stopped you in 2023, the next question is, what would you do differently in 2024? What's going to change? How are you going to change 2020 in 2024 so you can accomplish not just 1, 2, or 3 of your goals, but accomplish all of your goals, accomplish huge goals, massive goals. I mean, have breakthroughs in 2023 because, 2024, because, you're not up to just accomplishing 1 or 2 goals. You want massive breakthroughs. You want extraordinary breakthroughs. You want to have massive breakthroughs. And you want to have breakouts, have an extraordinary, powerful life in 2024. Is that what you want? I hope that's what you want. And it is possible. The question is, it's all based on what you do now. Now, our topic today is we're going to discuss why it's important for you to successfully complete 2023. Why is it for you to put 2023 behind you so you can start over fresh in 2024? We're going to discuss that. We're going to have conversation about that today so that you can have a whole new grasp, a new way for viewing 2024. Okay, so let's jump in. Okay, great. 1 second. Trying to get to one. Give me 1 second here. Okay. My name is Dale Titt, and just share a bit about myself. My name is Dale Titt. For those who don't know, I am a real estate investor. I've been investing in real estate now on and off for about 25 years. Yeah, it started a long time ago. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor. One of the things I love doing, one of the things I'm very, very passionate about, is coaching, mentoring people. I just love seeing people transform, people change. I'm also a father. I have 2 wonderful, beautiful, amazing daughters. They're both at university. They are the love of my life. I love them, of course. I have a wonderful, amazing wife as well. And as I mentioned earlier, she's a dietitian. And I'm also a singer. I love to sing. Yes, I sing in the shower a lot of the times. I'm also a dancer. I love to dance. I dance Zumba, and I just love dancing. I'm a joker. Yes, I like to crack jokes and make jokes. I love to have fun. Who doesn't? Life is too short. And I'm also a Landmark event leader. And for those who don't know, Landmark has been around for about 50 years. They've had more than 3 million people participate in their programs. They are Landmark is actually surveyed. They are the leader in the personal professional training and development industry. And just recently they were surveyed where their faculty is considered the best in the world among training and development. So I'm very proud to be part of this really amazing organization. I've been part of Landmark now going on for 15 years. So I've been in the game for training, mentoring, developing people for more than 15 years. And my life is transformed by it. And I've seen so many people's lives transformed through this work. And some of the things I'm going to share with you actually are some of some of it is a source of Landmark. So share that with you. And I'm also an NLP practitioner. I practice NLP as well. So for those who don't know, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. Okay. And my whole life's purpose, now it took me a while to kind of figure this out, but my whole life purpose is just to be a living contribution and to really make a difference in people's lives. Okay, that's really my purpose. I really want to make a difference here. So for me, this is not just about presenting information. It's about really making a difference for everyone who's participating with me this morning. Now, I really want to invite you to put away all your distractions. So if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, if you're going through your phone, whatever you're doing, however you're doing this morning, please, I just want to invite you just to put it away for the next 45 minutes. Just put it away and just be with me. Be with me for this time. I also want to invite you to get a piece of paper or pad up because I want you to be taking notes. I want you to really, really get what I'm going to be presenting with you this morning. And I want you to participate with me. So there's a chat. So if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, please, just send them over to me so I can actually interact with you this morning. Because in my opinion, this can be the most important and most valuable discussion you will have all year. Because a lot of information is out there. It just, it's information, it's education, which is very important, by the way. And of course, you implement it or you don't. But this information is at the layer, the bottom, the layer. It's at the source, the root. It's a soil in which everything flows from. And if you get this, it'll make everything that you build on top more powerful, more successful. Okay, so as I said, this is perhaps one of the most important conversations you're going to have in 2023, and it'll make a massive difference for you in 2020, 2024. Okay, so I got a couple of questions for you. Do you have incomplete projects, unresolved conflicts, or disconnected relationships? Think about that for a moment. Think about everything you've done in 2023, all that you've done, everything you experience. Do you have any disconnected relationships? Just people that you just don't get along with for whatever reason. Or maybe you had some conflicts or upsets or challenges with different types of people. Now, I know there's difficult people out there. I know that, right? There is. But how's that left? Next question is, do you have any broken promises and agreements? Do you have any mental clutter or confusion? Or are you holding on to anger, resentment, or bitterness? Now, this affects your mindset. This affects how you think. This affects the actions you take. So do you have any broken promises and agreements? Think about it for a moment. And if so, just write them down. The pad, right, that I asked you to get, just write it down. Do you have any untidiness impacting your everyday life? Take a moment and survey everything around you. Is there any untidiness? Look at your office, the floor, your bedroom. Think about your car, your basement, your garage. Is there any untidiness? Is there any clutter around you? Now, let's take it even further. What about files? Your computer, right? Certain things you know you should do, could do, would do, but you've just been putting it off. You're constantly putting it off. All these things affect how you think. They affect your mindset. They affect your thoughts. They affect your emotions. They affect your feelings. They affect you on a continuous basis. Now, if you answered yes to any of my questions that I just asked you, you have incompletions. Okay, so you're probably asking, okay, well, what is an incompletion is what is being complete. Okay, what is completion, I should say, and what is being complete. Let's talk about, first of all, incomplete. Let's do a deep dive on completion, because it's very important that you really get this. Okay? All right. So an incompletion is anything in your past that occupies your thoughts and conjures up negative emotions and feelings that are on repeat. It consumes your conscious and subconscious thoughts. It's always with you. Now, if you don't confront your incompletions, there's a high probability that your 2024 will be just like your 2022 and 2023. Well, how does the saying go? If you don't deal with the things in your past, you have a possibility, a tendency to repeat it, right? I think that's how it goes. I'm not sure that's the way. But you get my point, right? You will repeat it over and over and over again. Incompletion can go as far back as your childhood, impacting your whole experience of life, where you can possibly take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. But here's the thing, you never know why. You don't know why it's happening. Incompletions can weigh you down, keeping you from moving forward, and it's impacting your whole life. And it actually impacts your goals, or the goal you're trying to set in 2024. And it's trapping you in your past. Now, it's essential to have the capacity to finish things in your life. Completion. When you complete things, you finish things. It's fulfilling, it's rewarding. Remember, for example, in high school, when you graduated from high school and you went to university or college, that experience of that 3 or 4 years in high school and everything you've gone through, you completed it. There's a ceremony. There's an opportunity to complete. It's done. Summer is beginning, and it's done. So there's a sigh of relief, turning the page, and you move on to high school, or you move on to university. And when university is over, there's a ceremony again. You complete. There's an experience of turning the page. It's important to bring things to an end. Close the book on them and start with a clean page, because there's power in completion. There's freedom in completion. There's clarity, aliveness in completing things in your past. Now, if you want to extraordinary 2024, it's important that you put 2023 behind you. It's important to close the door, graduate from 2023 to 2024. End it, shut the door on it. You must turn the page on the past and start 2024 with a clean slate, leaving all the negative emotions, the disempowering feelings and experience in 2023, leave it in 2023. But it can be very difficult. It can be very difficult to do, especially if you've had some failures and unfinished business. If you have things that you haven't addressed, you have things you haven't looked at. Now, you may be aware of some incompletions, but many are hidden from your view. You can't see them. And here's the thing. You can't see that you can't see that you can't see them. You're completely unaware of them, but they're impacting you every single day. Now, you may have had some huge successes and accomplishments in 2023, no doubt. Some of you have accomplished some really amazing things in 2023, and that's great. That's wonderful. But you may have also had some failures. Now, those failures stick with you. They remind you that you're not good enough, that you could have done better, and that you could have tried even harder. Now, personally, I tend to feel this way too, but we all do. I started 2023, I got really excited with a whole new business, a whole new business direction. Then I realized I was going up the wrong ladder, and I was headed for abject failure. As a matter of fact, I got rejected and I failed 14 times with 14 different people and 14 different opportunities in 2023, at the beginning of 2023. And it set the tone for the rest of the year. It could have actually set the tone for the rest of the year. When I finally decided to focus, change my business structure around, change what I do, I found success. And yes, I actually learned a lot from that experience. But the failure, that experience of the failure has an impact. Despite all the successes that I've had in 2023, my failures, they've left an impact. And they've left a trail of incompletions that lead me to a deep feeling of regret sometimes, anger, because when I think about those people that rejected me, yeah, I'm human. I feel it, right? Frustration, resentment, and deep feelings of inadequacy tend to creep in, despite all my failures. What I had to do, I had to go to work on completing my past, freeing me from that heavy burden of being incomplete. Now, here's the thing. You too have created a trail of uncompleted commitments and unfinished agreements. We all do. We all have them. As I said, they can go as far back as your childhood. It's inescapable because it's a part of being human. Now, you can find it very, very easy to move on after difficult experiences. Unfortunately, these experiences have a lasting impact on your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. Especially if those experiences and what you've been through have created trauma in your life. It can be very, very difficult to let go of painful events. Very, very difficult because it sticks with you, especially, as I mentioned, if you have trauma from your past. Now, trauma can be a kind of a psychological wound that's a result of something very distressing. And some of you have gone through some really traumatic situations I was speaking to a friend of mine, and what she's going through, what she's experiencing, made her want to forget about being a real estate investor altogether. Very, very traumatic. Some of the tendencies she's dealing with, the challenge she's going through, some of the painful situations she's dealing with. And as a matter of fact, I've had people who decided not to pursue investing in real estate altogether. They decided to do something else because of the traumatic experience they've experienced. Not to mention not just the real estate investing, but also, life happens. Life happens all the time. I have people who got into very difficult personal, mental, financial situations in 2023. Life happens. Accidents, that happens too. These wounds that you experience, they could be because of the very distressing experiences. For example, loss, regret, the feeling of failed expectation, danger, deep embarrassment, painful or disappointments, very, very painful disappointments. I've experienced those this year. And yes, even the feeling of failure, especially those situations where you are betrayed by someone you trust. That can have a lasting impact on everything that you do. So, incompletions, it's kind of like carrying around a backpack. Got a backpack here. So it's kind of like carrying a backpack with you. See? Okay. So you have, for example, resentment, anger, pain, frustration. You spoke to someone that didn't really appreciate how you communicated with them. Maybe you have an off day, and now you're thinking about how you spoke to them, but you don't know how to actually have that conversation with them to kind of clean things up, right? Maybe you have had a relationship with someone and the relationship failed for whatever reason. Now you're stuck because you don't know how to actually bring it to an end. It happens often. You've had a business relationship maybe that went sour with an investor, and now you're thinking, man, how am I going to have those conversations? How am I going to clean things up? You don't know how, and on and on and on. There's so many different situations that may have occurred in 2023. And unless you complete them, you carry it around. And you put it on, like a backpack. Let's see, just gonna look here. Yeah, let's see. How's that? Oh, and it's in the way. It's in the way. You carry it. You're constantly carrying this backpack of guilt, of resentment, of bitterness, of anger, frustration, and it's in the way. You carry it into other relationships. You carry it when you're having conversations with other people, and it reminds you. And it reminds you. So if you have a sense of anything that even resembles what you've experienced in your past, it's going to come up. As a matter of fact, I've had that experience this year. I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues, and she was communicating with me, and how she communicated to me was so demeaning, how she communicated with me. And my natural tendency was to essentially stop and put it to an end and confront it and confront her. And it was coming up, this anger, this resentment was coming up, constantly coming up. And I said to myself, hold on a second here, before I basically fly off and ruin a potentially really great relationship by something I say in haste or anger, I asked myself, where's that coming from? So I went to work and I asked myself, where's that coming from? And I found out that I had an incomplete situation that goes back 7 years with another person who spoke to me in the same way, but I never completed it. It's one of my employers many, many years ago. So what I had to do was I went and I tried to track down that employer so I could have a conversation with her so I can have it complete. So I called her and messaged her, but I didn't get a response yet. Because if I don't complete that, the next time someone communicates with me the same way, again, guess what? The same feelings are going to come up again because it's stuck with me because I know the source of it now. Right? So I don't have to react to situations. I don't have to fly off the hook at situations that would happen again like that. I can actually respond to it because now I know the source where it comes from. So that's how life is, isn't it? If you don't complete things, they will be with you over and over again. If you don't deal with your incompletions, if you don't confront them completely, it will quietly gnaw at you, distracting you from being present. being present in the moment, enjoying life. Now, we have a tendency to think excessively about our failures, don't we? We think constantly about how we failed. We believe that overthinking and obsessing helps us gain insight, but it actually makes it even more difficult to solve the problem. Obsessing prevents us from moving forward, and it helps us. It stops us potentially from finding the solutions to the answer. How we deal with past experiences shapes the person we are today, for the good and not so good. How we view our past experiences, both consciously and subconsciously, shapes how we approach our life. Your past has a profound and lasting impact on many areas of your life, especially if it's not completed. So it's a natural tendency for you to feel it's a natural tendency to feel the current emotional pain that is continually forever linked to your past experiences. A natural tendency is to bury it, convince yourselves to just ignore it, convince yourself just to forget about it. That's what we tend to do, right? Now I'm not advocating, just to, for example, a lot of people say, just don't look back, stop, just dwell on the past. I'm not advocating dwelling on the past. I'm not talking about that, because that's fruitless. Because if you constantly dwell on the past, it's just not going to get you anywhere. What I'm recommending is that you confront it and bring resolution to it. That's what I'm pointing to. I'm pointing to completing it. Now, where are we here? Just want to make sure. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, perhaps you may feel, okay, well, just bury the past. That's it. Just ignore it. Just try to forget it. Let it go. Just forgive and forget. That's how we approach our past. We tend to bury it. We're not trained, or we have not been equipped with the tools to properly complete the past to bring harmony. A lot of people think that, hey, let's just forget about it altogether. Or maybe, just try to move on despite not having forgetting or forgiving. Saying just forget the past, just leave in the past. Let's pass the past, let's move on. Let bygone be bygone. That's what we tend to say. Your experience of feeling a pain, bitterness, and resentment will last far longer than the reasons that created. I'm going to say that again. Your experience and feeling of pain and bitterness and the resentment will last far longer than the reasons that created. In other words, you're going to forget why the situation occurred in the first place. That's just going to go. You won't even remember it. But the resentment and the feelings that you have buried inside you, that's going to stick with you. When you adopt the mindset of forgetting the past, it's a trap. Since we never really do forget the past, we can only bring completion to it. You relive the past over and over and over again. And you will continue to repeat the same actions that created the past again and again and again. And here's a quote I found. You do not move on. You do not move ahead by constantly looking in the rearview mirror. The past is a rudder to guide you, not to anchor or drag you. We must learn from the past, not live in the past. Now, personally, I've been at work in my past and putting in the past for the last 15 years. Yeah. Some are very obvious to me, I can actually address right away. But others have been concealed through layers upon layers of reasons, justifications, and rationalizations. That's how I've dealt with it. And I'm uncovering it. I'm peeling back the onions. I've been peeling back the onions very, very slowly. And every single time I do, I have a breakthrough. And every single time I do, I have a freedom. Every single time I do, I have calm and peace. So it's important to peel back those layers of your past. Now, it can be challenging. The question is, how do you let go of your past? How do you let go of those hurtful, painful experiences of your past? So here's what I do, and I hope it helps you. There are 7 steps I found to completing your past. There's 7 steps. I'm going to walk you through the 7 steps that I found. Now, here's a warning. Here's a warning before I get started, okay? Here's a warning about being complete. Completion is not a one-time endeavor. In other words, it's not something you just do once and hope everything's going to work out. You always have things that are incomplete because you live life. Life happens all the time. New experience, new situations. You may not know how to deal with a certain situation you haven't dealt with before. So you may be awkward, uncomfortable in the situation. So you're learning constantly to navigate life. So it's not something you just do one time. But you must have the courage to confront your past and put your past in the past. And take that past, put it back in the past. Now, when I say confront, let me kind of define what I mean by confront. Not confront the person, not confront the human being that potentially you're having difficulty with. Confront it in you. Face it. Deal with it. Look at it. And we're going to go through some process that will help you kind of deal with that this morning. Completion is a way of being. Meaning you are being complete. For example, you are being happy. You are being joyful. You are being fun. There's unlimited ways of being, by the way. You're being a jerk. You're being insensitive. You're being complete. You see, it's a continuous action. It's a continuous space to be. It's a place to come from. It's continuous. It's a continuous process. It will take time to master, since our natural tendency is to be incomplete. We are comfortable being uncomfortable with being incomplete. It's a natural state for us. But being complete is completely unnatural for us because it's difficult to have those conversations. It's difficult to deal with things that we know that are impacting our everyday life. It's very difficult for us to deal with that. So here we go. 7 steps to being complete. Now, again, this is probably one of the most important things you're going to take on in 2023. Step number 1. Here is the most important thing. So this is going to be your anchor, okay? This is going to be something that's going to keep you grounded and being rooted in being complete. Because some of the incompletions that you're going to be dealing with would be very difficult. Step number 1, set a goal based on your passion that scares you, that consumes you, that you know will take all you have, that you know that you perhaps have no idea how you're going to achieve. And while you're setting that goal, and that's just not any goal, put something at stake. Put something that's important to you. Put it at stake. Put something that's really important to your life, your family, or your future. For me, what I have at stake is my daughters, my 2 daughters. I have their future at stake. If I do not deal with my incompletions, if I do not complete the things that's impacting my life, guess what? It's going to impact their life. How I deal with my life, how I deal with situations that are impacting me, it's going to impact them. It's going to have an impact on them. How I communicate with them, how I mentor them, coach them, train them, how I'm being a dad with them, it's going to have an impact on them. So I have a lot at stake. I have their future at stake. That's why I've been doing this for 15 years. That's a massive goal. They're beautiful, amazing girls. But I promise you, if I did not go to work on myself, dealing with incompletions that I had going back from the time I was 9, 8 years old, they'll be very different people today. And I have some massive goals. I have some huge goals. The goals that you set for yourself can be, for example, let's just say that you want to, just as an example, help 1 million people out of poverty. That's a massive goal. And there are people actually doing that today. Maybe you want to bring water to people who don't have clean water in different parts of the world. And there are many, many huge, massive goals that you can take on, but have something that's bigger than you, something that's going to outlive you, something that's going to be so massive that you know it's going to take something from you, something deep inside of you to accomplish and achieve. Now, maybe it can be, for example, you want to be a billionaire. Sure, why not? And you know why I believe that you can become a billionaire if you choose to? If that's your choice. The reason why I know that you can become a billionaire is because there are other billionaires out there. As a matter of fact, there's books on how to become a billionaire, by the way. But that's your choice. That's your goal. That's what you want, something you aspire to. That's your goal. Sure, why not? So if you if you take on this goal, you know that you need to transform and be a different human being to accomplish that goal, because who you are today is insufficient to accomplish that massive goal. You need to transform your life. So you have a real fire. There's a reason now for you to go after and completions in your life. There's this drive that you have to take it on. Okay, and the rest, what it is, make that plan and just go after it. All right. Step number 2. Surrender to being authentic. You got to surrender to being authentic, guys. Now, yes, you can be authentic with others, but most importantly, you got to be authentic with yourself. That's where you start. If you want to achieve the goal that you want, that you've set for yourself, I mentioned earlier in step number 1, it will take being authentic and open and brutally honest with yourself. Okay? You need to become embarrassingly honest with yourself. Tell the truth on yourself. This can be very difficult, very, very difficult. But this would be a starting point, since you can't build a future on lies and self-deceit. You'll just be going in circles over and over and over again. You can't lie to yourself and thinking that everything's going to be okay. You got to drop the pretense. And sometimes we believe the lies that we tell ourselves. We convince ourselves of lies. But you know, deep down, you're lying to yourself. You know that. So if you want to find out how to actually come to get to the point where you are authentic with yourself, stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself in the mirror, just stare at yourself and see what comes up. Do challenging feelings, insecurity comes up? Yeah, that means you have buried some things that you're not dealing with, not confronting. And you can even ask people around you. Just be curious, ask people. So just ask them the question. So let me ask you, what do you think I need to change in 2024? Just solicit advice from people, because sometimes we fool ourselves. Be authentic with yourself. Be brutally honest with yourself, because you just cannot build life on lies. Step number 3. Here you go. Here's some practical stuff. Make a list of your incompletions. And when you make this list, be very thorough. Be very, very thorough. Just start making the list, just writing things down. Regardless of however small it is, when it pops into your mind, just write it down. It doesn't matter how small it is, right? It could be simple as, I have to buy new toothbrushes. Simple, right? For example, right? Or I have to inflate tires, air my tires because it's low, and I have an indicator on my car that tells me that I have low tire pressure. That could be an example, right? But there's many different small things. Just write them all down. Be thorough. Take the time to search every area of your life where you may find incompletions. Areas of life where you have unresolved conflicts, unfinished business, and incomplete conversations. Think about all the people that you have confronted and had conversations with this year in 2023. Think of all the situations or people that you've spoken to that maybe have a resentments towards you, people who you have resentments with as well. Take a look at your relationships and think of anyone who brings up any negative feelings, negative thoughts with you. Think of people that you may have written off. Think about those people. Now, there are some people, yes, I agree, some people that you should definitely stay away from. Some people you should definitely not confront at all. Some people you just let them be. Take a look at those relationships. Make a list of all the messes, the financial, the business, and the personal messes that you have created. Make a list of all of them. This is very, very important, because this will start the process of becoming aware of areas of your life that are incomplete, because those areas are impacting you every single day, consciously and subconsciously. They're impacting your life. Step number 4. Take full 110% personal responsibility. Now, why did it say 110, not 100% responsibility? Because I'm going to drive it home that it's up to you to take full responsibility for every aspect of your life. Every single aspect of your life, take responsibility. Now, this is not a popular conversation. We like to point the blame. Remember this? Right? How does it go with this? When you point your finger, you have 4 fingers pointing back at you, right? It's easy for us to point the blame to other people. It's easy for us to say, well, it's that person's fault. It's not my fault. It's the other person's responsibility. It's not comfortable for us to take responsibility. But I'm inviting you to take 100% responsibility. Give up your right to be right. Identify ways that you have contributed to a conflict or a situation, not from a place of blame or shame. That's not what I'm talking about. When you get to the point when you know that you've contributed to a situation, you can acknowledge it, and this actually brings freedom. And then you can actually share it freely. Now imagine for a moment that you take 100% responsibility and you are free. It puts you in a place of power. When you take responsibility, being responsible is power because you're able to respond. That's what responsibility means. Step number 5. Here we go. Step number 5. Yes, forgive yourself. Very important to forgive yourself. Depending on the situation, you can be carrying on pain or guilt. Yes. Your past can be on repeat, reminding you of all your past failures. So forgive yourself. Yes, I know this is so much easier said than done because we want to beat ourselves up. It's kind of like a good feeling. It's justified. We want to beat ourselves up. We want to make ourselves feel bad because it's justified the situation that we put ourselves in. But no, it's time that you just forgive yourself. Just let it go and forgive yourself. Now, I know it's difficult to do. Step number 6, here we go. Start cleaning up your messes. Just start small. Okay? Now, you may have, for example, a family member in which whenever you meet that family member, there's always conflict, there's tension, there's problem, there's situation, there's difficulty right, with that family member. I don't suggest you start there. Okay? What I suggest you start with is something small and just expand out. Start with something easy. For example, look at your desk, clean up your desk. Right? Maybe that's it. Just start cleaning up your desk. This is a small step. Maybe it's your room. Maybe it's your closet. Maybe it's a shelf. Maybe we have shelves that have it's messy, right? Because when you open it up, it's like, oh my goodness, it causes anxiety just opening up the shelves at times, right? We have a basement downstairs. We have a closet that's a complete mess. I had to go to work and clean it up last night. And there's a feeling of calm, peace, and power as soon as you start cleaning up those messes. For example, again, expand out. When you clean up your desk, clean up your office, tidy up your files, clean your room and your closet. Then take a look at all the areas that you've been neglecting, such as your personal health. Set an appointment to get an annual physical. Maybe you've been putting that off. Maybe you've been too busy. Right? Set an appointment. Just set your annual. So get an annual physical. Maybe it's your financial health. Create a net worth statement. See exactly where you are at in 2023. Just don't do any guesswork. End 2023 getting a good idea of where you are at financially. Get up to date on your outstanding taxes. Maybe that's a challenge. Maybe you're outstanding 2022, 2021. Get up to date on your taxes. Now, this can take time. Yes, I know, but it's worth it. But when you start, there's power in starting. And some things will take months to do. Some things will take days to do. Now, once you've got a lot of those things out of your space, what will start to happen, you'll start to have clarity. And when you take on being responsible, those difficult relationships, those tension that you have, you can now have the peace and clarity to whether it's a family member, business partner, friend, colleague that you're having potential conflict, difficulty with, that you broken communications, you can actually go up to that person, not from a point of blame, but for the point of responsibility. I actually had to do that a couple of months ago. I did not approach the situation thinking, man, I'm right, that person is wrong. Although I felt wronged, I said, you know what? Here's the situation. I take responsibility for how everything worked out. And I just came to the situation just taking responsibility. And you know what that person said? They were expecting a confrontation, but actually they said, yeah, you know what? I know what you mean. And we resolved it. I tell you, it's powerful being in a place where you take responsibility. And step number 7. Step number 7, share. I know we're isolated people sometimes, right? We have our family members, right? And that's about it. And sometimes we want to keep everything to ourselves. Sharing is powerful. Share your success. Share your failures. Sharing will bring you freedom. Sharing authentically brings you freedom, brings you resolutions to situations you're dealing with. Sharing releases the emotional feelings buried in your past. It's like taking off the backpack when you share. It takes the weight off of you. Sharing helps you to see that you're not alone. Your situation is not unique. Regardless of whatever situation it is, we're human beings. We deal with the same situation all the time. You'll see that your situation is not as bad as you may think it is. When you share it with others, you will get perspective. Taking these 7 steps, I know, can be very, very difficult. I get that. But if you practice them, you'll have true, authentic sense of freedom and confidence leading you into 2024. Now, it's December 4th. You have 27 days, to 2024. And during this time, it's a holiday season. During this time, you'll get together with friends and families and colleges, parties, and you're going to get together with a lot of people. So you have an opportunity to bring completion to these broken dysfunctional relationships. You can have an opportunity to restore you back to power and confidence and freedom. So you have this opportunity, you have a window of 27 days to take all that you have accumulated into 2023 and leave them in 2023. If you take these 7 steps before 2024, you'll have a renewed sense of power and confidence, leaving your past in the past and putting 2023 behind you in a powerful way. You graduate into 2024. You'll be empowered to achieve your goals in 2024, making 2024 your best year ever. Okay. Now, I know there's a lot there. Those 7 steps can be very, very challenging and very difficult. Very, very difficult to accomplish, very difficult to do on your own. I know I need help. We all need help. So, as I said earlier when I started, I'm committed to making a difference. I want to make a difference for everybody that listens to this. So what I've done is I've created a 2-day workshop, where I'll be, let me just get this out of here, where I will be walking you through the 7 steps that I mentioned above. So day 1 is Wednesday, December 13th, becoming incomplete. So it's basically taking the 7 steps. You actually be practicing and putting into practice those 7 steps day 1. And you'll be sharing, connecting, communicating. Essentially, we're going to basically go to work on becoming complete. So I didn't want to just leave it. Here's information, good luck. I want to actually provide more value to you. Step number 2, which is Sunday, December 17th, launching your 2024, setting and achieving your goals for 2024. That's on Sunday. Now, I thought about this. I thought, you know what? I want to make sure that you take this seriously. I want to make sure that you really get value from this, right? So I said, no, let's put it together here. There's, because they're action-based workshops, where you'll be taking action to completing your goals, completing your past in 2023, in my opinion, this is going to be one of the most important workshops you'll be taking in 2023, because it will basically set the tone for 2024. So the cost of the 2-day workshop is only $197. But for Savvy Investor members, people who are part of the Savvy Investor community, it's only $97. Okay? So if you want to get access to it, just no problem. Just send me a message on Instagram at DaleTin. That's where I'm at the Instagram. And then subject line, add completion 2024. Just add that to me, and I'll send you the details how to register and all that stuff, okay? Right? So I really, really hope that you got value for your time. I really, really hope that you really take this on. I really hope that you join me on Wednesday, December 13th. I really hope you do that. I really hope that you take on these 7 steps, because you have an opportunity now to take the 2023, everything you dealt with in 2023, but 2023 behind you in a powerful way, more powerful than you've done in any time, in any year, so you can move on and you can have an extraordinary 2024. So again, thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for participating. And thanks so much for just your attention. Have an amazing morning, and I will talk to you soon.